Hello and welcome. You're watching Business Today TV. I'm Sakshi Batra and this is Market Today, a show where we'll help you understand all the latest cues from the D Street, starting from the benchmark index moves to the sectoral action and all the stocks that are buzzing the most in trade as well. How should you be trading some of the stocks like ITC and Zomato ahead of earnings, and what do you really should have as a strategy post stocks like post earnings like Jubilant Foods, for example. The earnings have been disappointing, but what should you be doing with your positions there? All of those chats coming up with an expert very shortly. But first up, a quick check on how the markets are doing at this point in time. Well, if you look at the Nifty and the Sensex at this point in time, you can clearly see that both the indices are trading with slight gains, about 0.1%, 0.2% of a move on the upside for the Nifty, 18,212. Look at the Sensex as well, is trading by 145 points higher, 61,707. That's the move on the major benchmarks. Looking at the broader markets as well, the mid and the small cap 100 indices, there's a mixed trade there with the mid cap slipping into the red. Just in tandem move on the small cap 100 index as well. In terms of the other sectors as well, barring some losses coming in on the auto pack, on the realty pack and on FMCG, pharma, some of the defensives are actually not doing well in today's trade. Realty, definitely the biggest laggard in today's trade, 2% down in trade. Rest of the sectors are looking a little up. The Nifty Bank is trading higher by 0.6% odd on the back of move coming in on the private banks and financial services. It's the PSU banks that are not participating. That's the index that's down by 0.25% in trade. Apart from this, you're seeing slight move on the upside for the metals pack in today's trading action, but the market breadth looks quite mixed at this point in time as well. In terms of the top gainers and the losers of trade as we speak right now, Bajaj Finance, HDFC Life, ICICI Bank, these are the top gainers at this point in time, about 1% higher. Bharti Airtel continues to move up. Hero MotoCorp also gaining from the auto pack. On the downside, Divis Laboratories is the top loser on the Nifty index today, down by 3%. Adani Ports coming under pressure. Dr. Reddy's, Grasim, L&T, the other weak stocks in today's trade. Time now to welcome our guest on the show. Kranti Patini joins in from Wealth Mint Securities. Mr. Patini, good afternoon and thank you so much for taking the time out for this discussion. Well, the markets have turned volatile this week after gaining some strength last week. Your own sense of which way are the markets likely to drift? Is it going to be some kind of a pause before we again take on the upside trend, or is the trend looking weaker, looking at the macro sentiments and of course the US debt ceiling kind of news that is keeping the global markets under pressure too?
Actually, in the medium term, definitely markets are in a tight, narrow range. The upside for the market is market tried to go above the Nifty 18,300 levels, but it could not able to sustain above 18,300 levels. And market is not able to get some kind of momentum above this level. And what we are witnessing is immediate profit booking. And market, in terms of the news flow also, above 18,300, market is not getting any kind of news flow kind of support also. It's not creating. So in the medium term, markets are, Nifty is going to be in a tight range of 400 points range for the Nifty. We need to look for 18,100 at the downside, and upside is 18,350, 300. These are the crucial levels one need to watch out. But the main action is the markets are currently, there is a lot of stock specific action is happening right now. But Sakshi, this is a pure range bound market, and it's good for traders. One can, who is doing a jobbing or doing a delivery based trading also. The market is quite convenient with respect to stock specific trading is concerned.
Understood that as well. But let's actually focus on some of the earnings and how investors should be, trading on some of the stocks that are likely to report earnings. Let's start off with ITC. Now, we do know that is the sixth most valued firm on the Lal Street. It's set to report its earnings today. The stock has already rallied about 29%. The last year, it has definitely outperformed the Nifty as well. But will today's earnings justify the optimism around ITC? Is the big question that investors will continue to watch out for. We have been seeing that the cigarette division for the company has been reporting solid growth. We've also been seeing that several other segments are also performing. What is your own expectations when it comes to the profits and the margins this time around for the company? Is it likely to be a good quarter for ITC?
It can be a good quarter for ITC in terms of the revenue is concerned, Sakshi, but we need to see how the margins are going to be because of the input price increase, and also
Yeah.
the inflation also somewhat may impact the numbers of ITC in terms of the margins are concerned. But in a medium to short term perspective, the stock can consolidate at this level because, as you rightly mentioned, the stock is right now sixth valuable company in terms of the market capitalization in India is concerned, above 5 lakh crores. So at this point of time, what I expect from ITC is it may consolidate at this range for some more period. So the medium to long term investors, they can hold on to the stock, but the short term investors, okay, they can book some profit from the table if there is any spike in the stock price is concerned. So right now, next couple of quarters earnings are very important. ITC, we need to presume and project ITC for a longer term perspective rather than a medium to short term perspective. Overall, it's a stock to hold on to the portfolio because of the nature and fundamentals of the business is concerned. And one good thing is their hotel business is turning positive, and hotel business is contributing very well. Uh, Going ahead, what we can expect from ITC is the great demerger news, where investors have been waiting from a quite a long time. So that's where
Yes.
we can see some kind of value unlocking from ITC going ahead.
Exactly, that is what exactly I was coming to, that the possible demerger of businesses, is that going to be the key monitorable? And we've seen after a long haul of underperformance, last 1.5 years has been stellar for ITC. But the big question is, can it continue to perform like this, or is everything priced really in? Even if we see decent earnings growth as per expectations on profitability, on revenues, on margins, and even on volume growth with respect to cigarette volumes or the rural area FMCG business as well. How much more upside can just good earnings really provide, or is it much more? Now the demerger and those kind of news can only take ITC to another re-rating level.
Sakshi, at this point of time, uh, if we go through the current earning pattern is concerned, the stock is fully priced in. So going ahead to maintain the further upside in the stock, okay, from this level, the earnings has to go up further. That's the reason what I'm saying is the stock is going to consolidate in this price range for some more time. Uh, so the demerger kind of news, these are the uh, main newses investors are waiting for ITC in the medium to long term.
Got that. So from cigarettes to hotels company, now we move on to understanding more about the company that delivers pizzas to our homes. Jubilant FoodWorks came out with its Q4 earnings. Your own thoughts on how you really read through the numbers. We have seen a decline coming in on the profitability, a 59% drop in the net profits for the quarter, operating profits on EBITDA falling about 13% on a year-on-year basis as well. Even the margins for the company declining by about 500 basis points to 20.1% as well. There is a big question mark on whether the same store sales growth can continue to grow and deliver as well. Your own thoughts on, Jubilant Foods is another stock that has definitely been a wealth creator for investors, but off late we've been seeing some pressures coming again on the company. At 474, 1.3% down as a reaction to the earnings. What should be investor strategy now post the Q4 numbers?
The stock has been underperformance actually. In fact, from its 52-week highs, the stock came down nearly around 27%. And the current quarter results also a disappointing quarter results. But it's a stock which was an underperformer for this financial year. But on a long-term basis, the stock has been surprising in terms of the longevity, in terms of the delivery of the volumes is concerned, and uh, creation of uh, wealth for the investors on a longer term perspective. So going ahead, the company can change its strategy, and what we can expect is some kind of a positive momentum going ahead. In a medium term perspective, one can expect a moderate results and returns from this company. But for the longer term investors, can hold on to the stock. Stock can potentially can go from this range from 10% is the maximum upside we can see Jubilant
Okay.
FoodWorks. But for the longer term investors who have been in the company, because the stock company has also announced the stock split during this year, uh, For a longer term, investors can hold on, but for the medium term, we can see some kind of margin pressure on this company going ahead in next at least 1 quarter.
Okay, at least 1 quarter remaining, but maximum upside at 10% from the current levels as well for Jubilant Foods at this point in time. Another stock that we would be interested after the QSR space is the food delivery space. Zomato is about to report its numbers as well. Now, this stock is definitely one of the most anticipated, most talked about stocks as well. Very interestingly, just about half an hour back or 15-20 minutes back, we got a report from Swiggy, which is not a listed player, but definitely the other competitive. And it has talked about how it has become one of the very few players worldwide to report profitability in the food delivery business. And that is a pain point for Zomato. With Blinkit and the delivery partners issues coming off late. The whole question about is whether Zomato can really turn profitable both on the operational level and on the net level and sustain those profits and grow those profits going further from here. Right now, the company is definitely handling the delivery partner issue, but on a net level, what is your own expectation of Zomato earnings, and what would you advise investors to do ahead of it?
Sakshi, just to mention on Zomato, okay, the stock surprisingly from its lows, the stock went up nearly around 40%. So investors who are invested in the stock in these lows, they might be sitting on the profit. But the disappointment is people who invested around 100 levels and during the time of the much hyped IPO time. So that's the reason, Sakshi, the much discussed stocks and much popular stocks in a medium term, they never create uh, returns to the investors. This is one notion one need to keep always on their mind while investing in equity market. But coming to the point, Zomato FI 25, when they're going to become profitable, this is the bigger question on everybody's mind right now. Everybody is looking forward. But for the medium to short term, I can expect the pain areas are there still for this company, the profitability and increase of their cash flows. These are the points we are looking into Zomato. I don't think so. There will be a runaway from the stock at this point of time. Probably the stock can consolidate at this point of time for some more time. But what essentially we are looking for Zomato is increase of cash flows and also the profitability, which looks unlikely in the near term for Zomato.
All right, understood that. Apart from this, the new age tech space, is there any other stock that is coming to your radar, ahead of the numbers as well, apart from Zomato?
Yeah, there is a gamut of stocks, Sakshi, with the Paytms of the world. One need to be very stock specific while taking the entries at this point of time, uh, and also much discussed Nika. These are the stocks which are there on our watch list, but we are uh, extremely cautious at this point of time, taking the entry and clearly tracking the results and their cash flows is extremely important at this point of time while taking any serious long-term investment decisions.
All right, understood that. Well, thank you so much, Mr. Batini, for being with us on the show and discussing with us all those stocks that are in focus amid the earnings season and what should be investor strategy to approach them before and after the Q4 numbers too. Many thanks for being with us. Well, for now, 111 points up for Sensex as we speak, 61,671, 18,200 again for the Nifty. Will the second half of trading session see some recovery as far as the lost ground is concerned on the Nifty, and will we see some bounce back? We'll keep an eye out on the markets, but for now, we will take you right away to Paytm's press conference where there are crucial information that you can expect as far as tie-ups with SBI card and Paytm credit card are concerned. Do stay tuned.
Some numbers, if you look at consumers on UPI, we believe almost 50 to 60% of them would be sitting in this bucket, which is credit active or credit capable, whereas only 3 to 10% are currently using credit cards. So I think there's a huge opportunity for all of us to take this 40, 50, 60 million to roughly about 200 million in the next 2-3 years. Why this proposition? I think there are a lot of problem statements why this is at 40, 60 million and not 200 million or 300 million. So if you look at, if you look at the real-time challenges today, if you want to apply for a credit card, it takes a bit of a time. There is a lag to it. People are used to it, but then it's not real time. We really believe with the digital capabilities of Paytm and with the infrastructure that SBI provides, consumers will be now able to get real-time, on-demand credit and start powering it with UPI. So that's really going to be, for us, the primary USP of this proposition. We also believe that the distribution channels, they have evolved from being branches to DSAs. The co-branding arrangements are the next phase of distribution because the co-brand partner brings that window of opportunity, brings those consumers, especially digitally enabled co-brand partners, and certainly Paytm is one of the largest in that game. And one very important aspect, we all believe card transactions have certain risks attached to them in terms of being used nationally, internationally, with PIN, with OTP. And we all are aware of the tokenization mandate that RBI has introduced over card transactions. This functionality of discoverability of credit on UPI or credit card on UPI actually is secure by design because it inherently tokenizes your card. You can safely share your UPI handle, pay to X number of merchants in the market, and ensure that your mobile transactions are secure. And in the end, I think this is all about democratizing credit. For a country which is running at 1.5 billion population, having just about 40 to 50 million credit consumer is a big gap. And I think these initiatives will help us drive that number and that penetration. Some numbers, I think we've spoken about it, that despite the fact that the credit card industry has grown at 20% CAGR over the last few years, we believe that propositions of such nature, discoverable on UPI, is going to further surpass this growth and, in fact, achieve the cumulative targets that organizations, banks have set up for themselves. We expect this to actually double, as we go along year to year. Hopefully, these will going to be a, very strong driver of issuance of credit card. The next 5 years looks very promising. It's a completely new channel, and like I said, it is being driven by penetration, both on the consumer side, being able to give on-demand real-time credit, and on the merchant side, being able to use it over 40, 50 million active merchants on UPI. So in the end, I would just want to say that this is a long-term partnership that we see with SBI Card and Paytm, and with high consumer engagement, revenue generation opportunity, and most importantly, democratizing credit. So thank you.
Thank you, Nalin. All right, everyone, we are now ready for the most awaited moment, the unveil of our new card. Let's welcome on stage Mr. Vijay Shekhar Sharma, founder and CEO Paytm, Mr. Rama Mohan Rao Amara, Managing Director and CEO SBI Card, Mr. Girish Buddhiraja, Executive Vice President and Chief Sales and Marketing Officer SBI Card, Mr. Madhur Deora, Group President and CFO Paytm, Mr. Bhavesh Gupta, President and COO Paytm, and Ms. Praveena Rai, Chief Operating Officer NPCI for the launch of the card. All right, everyone, this is the moment we have all been waiting for. When you have such esteemed dignitaries on stage, we have to hear more from them. Bhavesh, I would request you to be a moderator and steer this conversation with Vijay Shekhar Sharma, Mr. Rama Mohan Rao Amara, and Ms. Praveena Rai.
Yeah. Hi, Praveena. Please. Bhavesh, your mic. Yes. Chairs. Yeah, the other chairs. Yeah. Hi. Thank you so much. So, Mr. Rao, Praveena, please come here so that till the time period they're hosting us, few words. And so, first of all, I want Mr. Rao to say something.
Good afternoon, everyone. And it's a wonderful occasion to unveil this card. While we have seen the kind of features of the card, it has become quite popular, and particularly launching it on the RuPay network with the added feature of linking it to the UPI. I think it's going to be the game changer. And I compliment NPCI and Vijay for coming together and for making it happen. It will also be available in real time. While there was a refrain earlier that actually credit card application and getting the card will take a long time, we have built a digital end-to-end digital journey in partnership with Paytm. So it's possible to get the card in real time. So definitely this will ease the pain for the customer in getting the card.
Thank you. Thank you. Praveena, your words.
Yeah, so you've taken over now. So it's a fabulous moment. I think we heard some phenomenal numbers that were presented to us in terms of the opportunity. And thank you very much, sirs, both of you, Vijay and Mr. Ramarao. For us at RuPay, working with the #1 credit card issuer, working with a partner who is the most digitally savvy, driving digitization in India, I think this is a phenomenal opportunity. So we look at this as a golden moment. I think it's going to create magic. The link with UPI, the digital onboarding, the entire digital journey that Paytm will bring to the table on that. We are very excited. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And thank you so much, Praveena. Thank you. And I think Sir talked about the best feature. Some of you know that there is a race against time when it is about account opening in banks. They sort of say 1 minute, 2 minutes instantly. But the best part that I can say is that with SBI's technology, what we have been able to deliver is that the credit card can be instantly issued. I mean, this is something impeccable and probably rare in the industry, because customers will be able to get like an onboarding workflow and instantly issued credit card in due course. And then it works on the all UPI acquiring. So phenomenal. Thank you so much, sir, for giving an opportunity. Thank you, Praveena, for supporting it. Incredible. And back to Bhavesh for our...
I think we can speak more if I can request you guys to come over.
Yes.
I'll have a bunch of questions.
You have some seating for us?
Yeah. Wherever comfortable. Vivek.
Yeah, please.
Up आइए. So, Mr. Rao, let me start with you, and I think everybody would love to hear. And congratulations first for 25 years of SBI card as a business. I think it's the only company out there who set up the entire credit card business 25 years ago. Obviously, a lot of people talk about this business today, but what SBI, with its reach and obviously SBI cards, with its entire focus on building a great product for users in the country, have been able to do is absolutely phenomenal. So our congratulations and compliments. Taking that event forward, I just would like to ask one question. How are you seeing the journey of SBI card over the last 25 years fundamentally transform with the advent of all the technology initiatives that networks, especially NPCI, has been taking, and what you've been taking, which is leading to much better expansion of credit usage and obviously credit card usage in the consumer base that you focus?
Thank you, Bhavesh, and thank you all for complimenting us on the 25th anniversary. I think when I look back, 25 years back when SBI card was set up as a standalone credit card issuer, industry was at a very nascent stage. We never heard about bureaus, we never heard about digitization, we never heard about smartphones and internet penetration. But we had a very broad objective of increasing the penetration and then even competing with the existing players. So I think having the sponsorship of two industry majors like GE and SBI coming together definitely helped in putting a kind of very articulated strategy in terms of how we wanted to grow. We always articulated a well-diversified customer acquisition strategy, created a pan-India customer acquisition infra, partnered with players and brands, the large merchants, for bringing in a kind of good value proposition to the end consumer. And then we always innovated on the product side. So the product innovation helped us in terms of addressing the lifestyle needs of the customer. And lastly, we realized that like this business has to be driven by technology, leveraging analytics, etc. And particularly once the bureaus came into being, and once Aadhaar-based digital KYC is also available, we were able to leverage these things for rapid growth in the customer acquisition as well. So this has given us the heft, this has given us and taken us to the second position in the industry. Of course, as a pure play credit card issuer, we are the largest. So I think credit goes to everyone here. I mean, for the government and regulator for having a very enabling environment, and also credit goes to consumer in terms of becoming much more aware. Particularly a tier 2 customer is as savvy as a tier 1 customer. In fact, we are seeing in our acquisition, tier 2 plus towns contribute almost 70% of new card demand. And we have seen in the online spends, e-commerce, etc., 66% or 2/3 of the spends are actually coming from tier 2 plus towns. So there is a big change in the consumer mindset, psychology, and we have been the beneficiary of it. Of course, it gives us the responsibility to continue to innovate and work on improving the customer experience.
Thank you, sir. That's actually very inspiring for all of us when we look at a standalone cards company being able to achieve so much and the scale at which you're operating. We're hopeful that this partnership can add maybe a very small percentage of growth. So we really look forward to that, sir. Vijay, let me come to you. We at Paytm have been the forefront of technology innovation, and we've done a lot, and you especially bringing QR codes, bringing wallets to the country, and obviously not championing the cause of merchant side, user side on UPI. In your assessment, our country still needs a lot more penetration to financial inclusion, right? How does the entire ecosystem that you see of UPI and now credit on UPI developing, in your opinion, will drive financial inclusion and further can be accelerated?
Yeah, so first of all, I'm very happy to say that what NPCI has done with RuPay credit card on UPI is a game changer for this country, especially because the cards were facing the problem of acceptance and people were choosing to not use cards because of that reason. The reason the mobile payment took off is because it was ubiquitously accessible for making a payment. And I think what NPCI has done phenomenally well with UPI, in turn UPI QR, is incredible. RuPay credit card riding that is, I think, the game changer here. So when you look at overall financial inclusion, Bhavesh, I'd say that it includes convenience and reach, and it includes ability of running complex financial products on consumer ease. And this is a phenomenal example how NPCI, RuPay, UPI integration of this integration has worked out. I think us and SBI are going to be key beneficiary. Now, SBI is also the champion and the biggest champion of financial inclusion in the country. With SBI card, they are able to issue credit to people who typically have not been able to get it in a spend method. So I believe that this will be one of the big leap. Let's understand here, what I was talking to Mr. Rao in a sort of green room here, their customer care is getting a call that I need RuPay card. I mean, I think it's a milestone and we should applaud for RuPay for catapulting it to that level. I don't think that look, the best is that you can say that I want you to take this card and this is a great card, value propositions. And I'm sure you know that different card scheme offer different kind of reward points or something. But when customer sees a value proposition so unique and so scalable, it's phenomenal. And I think this is, Bhavesh, towards the financial inclusion end. Because the customer who's seeking RuPay card is sort of seeking the convenience of digital transaction, convenience of credit, and convenience of mobile payment. And all this phenomenally comes together. So when you look at financial inclusion, the names like SBI, the reach like Paytm, and ability like RuPay, it's a killer combo.
And Vijay, if we can just supplement this point, I think credit cards, and I've been doing this business also for 25 years, and I've seen that it was always a premium product. And when the cards got launched much ago, it used to be tier blue, silver, gold, and became more premium. And what RuPay has been able to achieve is to bring in the acceptability of the product to the masses. And I think that financial inclusion impact with UPI, allowing credit cards to be paid, especially RuPay cards, is going to be a game changer. Terrifically. Pravina, let me ask in you from that point of view. It's been few months that credit card, or RuPay credit card and UPI has just gone live. We obviously, from an acquiring side at Paytm, are seeing very, very large intake of people now creating handles on credit cards on our app. What are your initial signs, and what is making you so excited about this particular revolution or one more revolution, I must say, that NPS has brought to the country, which you believe is going to be a great growth engine for credit and overall growth of UPI in our country?
Thank you very much, Bhavesh. I want to just first start by thanking both, Vijay and yourself. Paytm is always the first off the block in whatever innovation is driven on UPI, both as a UPI app, as well as an acquirer and aggregator in the market. So there's a lot of consultation that goes during the conceptualization exercise, and I want to thank you for the partnership there. And of course, sir, congratulations on 25 years. It's always a pleasure working with SBI Cards, along with yourself, Girish, Bikram, and the team. I think they push our limits every time and, really keep us out there in getting the best and driving whatever we need to from an excellence standpoint, be it success rate on a card or be it operational excellence and so on and so forth. So a big thank you to you and the team for the entire effort. I think the first genesis of our big thrust on RuPay Credit about 3 years back really happened thanks to the team and support from Girish and so on. And going back to, Bhavesh, what you were asking, I think we are now at a point where RuPay as a card scheme in the country, has reached maturity. So as a debit scheme, we have about 35% of the market. And as a credit scheme, it's about 3 to 4 years back that we told ourselves that unless we are building the stature of RuPay on the credit side, we really can't lay claim to the fact that RuPay is India's indigenous card network. And for that, we really changed gears on credit, and we work on it in sort of 3 dimensions. The first and foremost always for NPCI is the technology dimension. How do we innovate using technology? What do we need to do on the electronic payment gateway rails? What do we do that's specific to the Indian consumer, the user, the requirements of the market locally? And that's really the way we've driven the tech side of things. And the second would be product, right? What does the customer need, and how different is this going to be from every other product? And our intent is not to be another card scheme. We might have started off saying, yes, we need a card scheme for India, but we don't want to remain another card scheme. So that urge to differentiate the customer experience has always been behind whatever we've done on the product side. And then we look at it from a brand standpoint, and we said RuPay needs to be a brand that consumers want, and how do we make it aspirational? And we then took a series of steps in terms of how do we really create the drive for the brand. And really the icing on the cake now is the ability to bring UPI and RuPay together, which creates that democratization that we are talking about. So RuPay debit cards, for example, we issue with 1,060 issuers in the country, and we're very, very proud of that. And probably it's with the advent of RuPay that the debit card world got democratized to that extent. And I think that's the opportunity that's there on credit. Acceptance of credit card across all UPI points, the great experience that a customer has when they link a RuPay credit card to UPI and they are able to seamlessly use it. We keep hearing customers say, I just want to carry my phone, or some of them say, I do just carry my phone. But once in a while, they want to pull out their card because it gives them something extra, it gives them some rewards, it gives them some benefits. By now marrying the two, we've really taken that need out. And the third thing, and Nalin alluded to that, is this concept called tokenization, right? So in a regular card world, the card number needs to be secure. We don't want to have any risk, and hence the card number is replaced by a token, and the token travels, and then there's a lot of heavy-duty infrastructure that kind of drives that. And UPI is always about going asset light. Just like instead of the POS machine, you have the light QR. Here, just the UPI ID is the token. So there's nothing more that needs to be done. There's no extra infrastructure system, etc., etc. The moment a RuPay credit card is linked to a UPI ID, it's automatically tokenized. So we see this working on all of these dimensions coming together. And it's going to be very interesting months forward. And I'm sure you'll be contributing to most of the ideas that we end up implementing there.
Pravina, I want to congratulate NPCI team for that incredible television ad, which technically I was watching using OTT app on television, so I don't know whether it should be called television or a live screen ad. But that was so impeccable that I think that has generated so much of demand, and we wanted to ride that wave, so launching it now is also because before IPL comes about. I mean, kudos on that campaign also. That's very good recall, Wilder.
No, thank you for your time, Mr. Rao, Vijay, Prabina. I'm hopeful that we'll be able to fulfill the promise that this partnership holds. There's a lot to be done together to build the right product, right scale. And on behalf of Paytm, I can assure that we are all committed. And we so believe that 1 year, 2 years down the line, when we're again taking a stage somewhere, we'll be able to talk about the success of this product. So thank you very much for the time.
Thank you, Prabhu.
And back to the comment.
Thank you.
Hey, so I'd just like to sort of,
Sure.
thank the teams here who really put this together, including our partners from JCB, Mr. Mori and Richard and everybody, the SBI Cards team, your team from Paytm, and of course we have the RuPay team here from product, and I'll pass on your congratulations to the marketing folks there. So thanks for everyone for bringing us to this day here.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much. We would now like to open the floor to questions from our friends from the media. We would just request the media to please keep the questions related to the event only.
Or the product. Michael.
So my question is that today you have launched this credit card on UPI, and Madam just said that Paytm was always pioneer taking the first step. So do you think that this credit card linked with UPI will be the next revolution, and Paytm and other want to encash on it?
100%. I think customers have learned mobile payment and maturely understood how it works. So that is why you're seeing ubiquity of acceptance and issuance. In other words, consumers using mobile payments. And adding credit is a logical next step. We've seen it with the fine little bit of private launch or private beta that we've seen. Customers who use credit card on UPI or on using the phone actually use it more often than they used to use it earlier. So it is definitely the next evolution. The critical part here will be to see how many credit cards get linked and how many credit cards with RuPay are issued, which I can see that the partnership with SBI is about ubiquity, the national scale, and partnership with RuPay is that it goes that next extra mile.
And sir, now we've been hearing about again MDR on debit card, RuPay debit card, and maybe on UPI also. So that can also be an advantage for these kind of credit cards?
Well, these are policy decisions. I mean, whichever way they come, we sort of align the business accordingly. So whether advantageous or not, one thing I know is that consumers and merchants are loving it the way it is. Especially important thing to know is small merchants can take 0% MDR of RuPay credit card on this. Actually, this is important to understand. Less than 2,000 rupees is 0%.
But, sir,
and I think that will remain long-term committed, right, sir?
Yeah. I think just to clarify, maybe it will help you. I think this MDR was in discussion multiple times. There was a discussion paper in the public domain by RBI. Industry has given the feedback. Subsequently, the linkage of RuPay credit card to UPI was announced. So again, the concept, this topic of MDR was revisited. So it was clarified that up to 2,000 rupees for any transaction done at small merchant, with an annual turnover of up to 20 lakhs. That means any chai wala, roadside, any such small outlet also, without any inhibition can accept the payment through UPI when the actual credit card is linked to the UPI handle. It's not like there is any MDR there. But the other part, that means any transaction done with the same merchant above 2,000 rupees, or any transaction irrespective of any size when it is undertaken at large merchant other than the small merchant, it will continue to have a normal MDR. So that way, on the customer side, it will give the enhanced experience because he need not take out his plastic as well. But at the same time, activation rates, everything will be
But sir,
better.
how will the merchant will recognize that the customer who is paying through UPI, it's debit link or credit link? Because that will incentivize or disintensify.
Merchants have a choice to enable, number one, and merchants' apps of QR acquiring carry this detail that this payment is done using bank account or let's say prepaid card or credit card. And merchant have a choice to enable, disable, and enable only for less than 2,000, etc., etc. So companies like us who work on merchant acquiring have consciously taken care of it, that unknowingly merchants don't get charged if they are not willing to. At the same point in time, every merchant gets an advantage of what the beauty it is.
Yes, sir, so just for easy understanding, the merchant को पता चल जाएगा भैया ये जो पेमेंट आ रहा है 2,000 से ज्यादा है, क्रेडिट वाले से मुझे नहीं लेना भैया, डेबिट से करो. He can say that.
बिल्कुल नहीं, इनफैक्ट से दैट की भी जरूरत नहीं है. वो मर्चेंट अपने ऐप में कॉन्फ़िगर कर सकते हैं कि मेरे को पहला तो ये है कि he has to be below a particular annual revenue turnover. Then he has a choice कि मेरे को सिर्फ 2,000 से नीचे का करिए क्योंकि मैं चार्ज नहीं देना चाहता.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Hi, sir. My name is Ankur Mishra. I am representing ET now. You have had a great presentation where you have mentioned that even without this launch of RuPay on UPI, there were numbers which you have displayed. Now, I want to know that is there any projection from your side on the future with this RuPay and UPI on board? What is your target, and especially on Paytm's front on path of profitability, how much it will add?
पाथ ऑफ प्रॉफिटेबिलिटी का तो कोई कनेक्शन इससे इसलिए नहीं होगा क्योंकि मटेरियल नहीं है और हमने प्रॉफिट पिछले क्वार्टर में डिलीवर कर दिया है. तो पेटीएम का जो ऑपरेटिंग प्रॉफिट है वो तो पिछले क्वार्टर में डिलीवर्ड है. ये प्रोडक्ट अब लॉन्च कर रहे हैं, सो उसका दो को डिस्कनेक्ट कर देते हैं. एंड देन व्हाट वी कैन से इज दैट वी डू बिलीव दैट मोर देन प्रॉफिटेबिलिटी इट सॉल्व्स फॉर डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन. लुक, what is RuPay credit card doing is customers who have RuPay credit card now leveraging the acquiring network and issuing ability of Paytm will be able to do more payment transactions. So I think it is more than profit, it is a excess that we are solving for. What do you think it is solving?
Absolutely, you are absolutely right. I mean, it's the access part. I mean, acceptance wise, when we look at it, it is 50 million QR codes, UPI QR codes versus a 5 million physical pass which are configured for credit card usage. Almost like a 10 times usage. Second thing is a typical mental block that will be there, like taking out the card only for a high value transaction versus using UPI P2M for a 600, 700 rupee kind of transaction. That distinction will get blurred because now with a credit card linked to the handle, he need not worry. I mean, I'm saying customer need not worry. That way, it's a very, very convenient for the customer, ease of use basically. That is the one.
No, what I wanted to understand, is there any target which you have set in mind?
No.
I think, see, I just want to clarify because we always operate on multiple networks. We operate on Visa, we operate on MasterCard, Amex, as well as RuPay. Ultimately, what type of card is required on which network it is to be issued is a consumer's prerogative, customer's prerogative. So while the products will be available, the customer will pick and choose which type of card or which network card he wants. That's the reason we shared that feedback, saying like some customers, even before launch of this card, are coming to our customer care center, inquiring about when this card will be available.
Also, one last question on the product part. Is there any limit or something which you have sent, or it will be based on customer to customer?
Every customer will have independent limit. Every customer's credit worthiness is individual and unique.
Ask one question each, please, in respect of time.
Sir, एकता from Z Business. मैं आपसे पूछना चाहूँगी, हम कार्ड लॉन्च पर हैं. अब इंटरनेशनल क्रेडिट कार्ड्स पर TCS जो है वो 5 से 20% कर दिया गया है. आपका इस पर क्या टेक होगा?
टेक तो कस्टमर का होगा.
लेकिन फिर भी सर क्यों कहीं ना कहीं ये डिस्करेज करेगा यूसेज को?
आई थिंक देखिए, अभी तक ये पॉलिसी की डिटेल नुएंसेस पढ़ने के बाद ही कुछ कहा जा सकता है. अभी तो अखबार में ही पढ़ रहे हैं, आपके मीडिया पे ही पढ़ रहे हैं.
Mr. Rao.
Yeah, No, I think as Vijay has said, this is a very, very recent development. My team internally, both legal and compliance, are looking at the fine print and trying to assess what is the impact. And as a regulated entity, whatever needs to be done, we will do. We will comply. That's what it is.
Hi, I'm Rahul Singh from Hindustan Times. मैं ये पूछना चाहता हूँ कि जैसे यूपीआई लॉन्च हुआ उसके बाद आप एक देख रहे हैं कि यूपीआई डिजिटल फाइनेंशियल इंक्लूजन हो गया है. अब एक अर्बन स्पेस से छोड़ के रूरल स्पेस भी डिजिटल प्लेटफॉर्म पे आ गया है. तो लेकिन अभी क्रेडिट कार्ड का जो मार्केट है वो एक अर्बन बेस्ड मार्केट था. तो क्या आपको क्या लग रहा है ये एक अपॉर्चुनिटी प्रेजेंट कर रहा है कि ये आप क्रेडिट कार्ड को रूरल मार्केट में भी लेके जा रहे हो?
बहुत अच्छी बात बोली आपने. इनफैक्ट मेरा ये मानना है कि ये अर्बन अफेयर इसलिए रहा क्रेडिट कार्ड क्योंकि एक्वायरिंग बिग सिटीज तक लिमिटेड थी. छोटे शहर में कार्ड मशीन की पहुंचने की मतलब होता है ना कि कौन पहले आएगा, कार्ड मशीन पहले आएगी, कार्ड पहले आएंगे, इसके कैच में रहे. इनफैक्ट कार्ड मशीन्स छोटे शहरों में नहीं पहुंची. इसकी वजह से डेबिट कार्ड भी मोरलेस एटीएम कार्ड कहा जाता था क्योंकि उसका यूज ही एटीएम से पैसा निकालने के लिए था. परंतु जिस तरीके से हम क्यूआर यूबिक्विटस देख रहे हैं मोबाइल पेमेंट के लिए पेटीएम, अब आप देखिए हम कितने शहरों में और कहाँ पे दिखते हैं, तो कस्टमर्स फिर उस पर रुपए क्रेडिट कार्ड यूज कर लेगा. इसलिए क्रेडिट कार्ड इशुएंस वहां तक जाएगी. एसबीआई डिसाइड करता है कि कौन किस शहर में मिलेगा. एसबीआई का जो नेटवर्क है वो पूरे देश के कोने कोने में है. अब एसबीआई कार्ड की अगर लिमिटेशन भी देखें तो कहाँ तक कार्ड इशू कर सकते हैं, जहाँ पे कोई कस्टमर चाह रहा है. अब कस्टमर चाह भी सकता है और प्राप्त भी कर सकता है. तो ये एक तरीके से आपने बहुत अच्छी
I can give a data point also, Vijay. As I said, like a tier 2 plus town, tier 2, tier 3, tier 4 town से नया सोर्सिंग में हमारा एप्लीकेशन से 70%, 70% actually we are getting from the new customers. We are actually getting from tier 2 plus customers. So I think e-commerce has actually during the last few years has actually helped us penetrate. And everybody is adopting or getting onto the UPI rail with like a fish to the water kind. But that's what I can say.
So बिल्कुल सही बोला.
Hello, sir. Tanya this side from Business Today Television. First of all, congratulations for this wonderful partnership. My question is, sir, that it's true that Paytm continues to dominate the Indian digital payment space, but how are you planning to increase your market share going forward?
On issuing side, acquiring side?
Yes, sir. Issuing side.
On issuing side का मतलब कि आप किस साइड के मार्केट शेयर की बात कर रहे हैं? क्योंकि दो मार्केट शेयर हो जाते हैं पेमेंट में. How many people use our consumer app and how many people use our merchant services? Merchant services, we dominate in this country. More number of merchant take payment using Paytm technology than any other, if you will. On issuing side, I think we've stayed focused on select customer base and we are continuously growing. Our public listed company होने का advantage है. You're seeing our numbers quarter on quarter and user on user. We are committed to grow. What we are not chasing is a sort of vanity number, if you will. What we are chasing is a good customer base and we are focused on monetization as you've seen it. So we are consciously bothering about which kind of customers to acquire, which means that market share wise it may not be material, but on a revenue market share it is significantly material.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sir, just one last question, क्योंकि हमारा Business Today बाजार भी है हिंदी चैनल. तो सर जो रेवेन्यू जनरेशन अपॉर्चुनिटीज की आपने बात कही इस पार्टनरशिप के तहत, अगर उस पे आप थोड़ा सा हमें
भवेश आप बताना चाहिए.
नहीं, जैसे विजय ने बोला कि this is important from expanding and distribution financial inclusion. It will add to revenue, but to begin with, it's too early for us to predict. Will it be very largely material? I think let's give it a year. We will be more comfortable to talk about it as the adoption increases.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. We'll just take one last question, please.
Hi, sir. This is Amol here from ETBFSI. I'm heading that portal from Economic Times. My question is in two parts. First is, what is the average cost of customer acquisition specifically for the credit card business now? And second is, considering every bank is coming with multiple co-branded cards, if I'm not wrong, every bank has at least half dozen co-branded cards. The fintechs are also coming with various credit cards. How do you see the market, how do you see the tough competition in market specifically in this space?
I think, see, cost of acquisition, while we haven't given anything in the public domain, I can only talk about the trend over a period of time. In the beginning, I talked about like bureaus being available, now credit bureaus, multiple bureaus are available, digital KYC is wide prevalent. So all these things have actually helped us in terms of streamlining the process of acquiring the customer over a period of time. Talking very particularly about SBI card, we have two channels. One is our partnership with the bank in terms of giving the card to the bank customers, where we even get the data based on the customer consent. After getting the customer consent, there the cost of acquisition is slightly lower as compared to what we acquire directly from the open market. But the way we talked about today, like this card is even available eventually on a real-time basis, one can get through digital means, that cost will be a fraction of the normal cost. So I think cost of acquisitions for every player, particularly for SBI card, they have been trending lower with technology and the digitization of processes.
So I can kind of add a small flavor to that. And I think for us from NPCI, whatever initiative we take, one of the objectives is to really look at making it more efficient, even while the experience is getting better. So if you look at the entire life cycle here of a credit card, right from a customer getting onboarded, this onboarding journey is now increasingly digital. In fact, SBI Cards is a pioneer in that space. There are many other issuers. We offer this on our RuPay site itself. The customer can be then immediately given a virtual card. So the customer does not need to wait to get a physical card. The customer can actually, suppose the customer is on an e-commerce website, the customer immediately gets a virtual card and can activate and utilize the card immediately. So that is, again, something very precious because from customer protection standpoint, the Reserve Bank has said that within 30 days, etc., there are some regulations that a card has to get activated. So this actually is going to provide the opportunity for immediate activation. So we're expecting far higher number of cards to become active. The third is staying active and the spend per card. Staying active again means there's more opportunity for use. Today in the broader e-commerce space, UPI has more than 50-60% sort of share of transactions. That entire large sort of space, along with the physical offline, the length and breadth of the country that accepts QRs, now becomes acceptable for continuously the card being active, the spend of that customer increasingly going on the card, customer benefits, merchant benefits, and of course the issuers and the co-brand partners benefit. And then if you take it all the way to the, the sort of running mode of the life cycle, the moment this instrument is now so digital, the opportunity of a product roadmap, that can start with a certain credit line, that can provide surge credit lines, that can, start looking at dynamic opportunities of serving the customer, becomes very, very powerful. So we look at this entire life cycle, which can really, is starting to get reimagined, has already been done so by our partners here, and there is a long more to go.
Wow. Praveena, I'll suggest that we take more questions because we may not be able to take post-stage questions, so I'm suggesting that we can take more questions here itself. Yeah? 10 more minutes, 5 more minutes? Yeah, okay.
Okay. Hi, I'm Rachna from India Today. Firstly, congratulations on the launch. I'd like to start by asking, we're seeing big private banks as well as smaller banks like RBL and Yes Bank coming up with their cards, and they're quite aggressive with their offerings. How is this card different in terms of offering interest rates or penalty charges or renewal charges?
So, I can't comment on other banks. But what we have always done in partnership with SBI and now with RuPay Network, eventually the overall package, what network brings, we as a co-brand partner brings, and the issuer brings, the overall package has to be something which the customer loves, right? So there is the product that my colleague Vikrant Bangia presented. If you look into that piece, it offers platform benefits on Paytm, it offers network benefits on RuPay, and definitely it offers the entire package that SBI has to offer in totality. So it becomes a wonderful proposition for the user. I can say this from our experience, because we've been in this business with SBI, with other networks, etc., etc. This particular product that we're launching is the most powerful product that we've come out from a Paytm stable in the partnership with SBI.
Sure. You mentioned cross-selling opportunities. There are a lot of benefits for Paytm users with this card.
Yes.
How successful has cross-selling been when it comes to lending products or any other
Not cross-selling. I said there is a leverage of the platform.
Hello and welcome to Business Today Television. I'm Siddharth Zarabi.